Namaste everybody. Hi. Hope you're all doing well. So today we have uh, today's the second episode of Women of Wonder of the Creative Quartet, and we have Krishna Sharma joining us. She's an artist, dancer, and photographer, and she should be here shortly. So let's just wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, I'll just add Krishna to the live. Hello, namaste. Hi,
Hi,
how are you?
namaste. Good. How are you feeling?
Good, good, good. Very good. So yeah, okay. So without further ado, so today, right. So today I'm Panasti Vora, and I'm the co-founder of the Creative Toli. And to sum it up in short, the Creative Toli is a one-stop Desi creative industry network. It's a free creative community for creative professionals and freelancers to connect, collaborate, and create. And our main goal is to promote the idea of creative freedom and cross collaborations across all creative industries. So, this month is all about celebrating Women of Wonder, and this is Creative Quartet Season 2. We want to celebrate women who've broken barriers and crossed hurdles to achieve their goals and are still continuing to do so. And today we have Krishna Sharma. She's a multi-talented artist who has contributed greatly to the fields of art, dance, and photography. So thanks so much, Krishna, for joining us today. And for a more in-depth introduction, so Krishna Sharma is an intuitively generous artist. She believes in exploring the length and breadth of creativity and has always tempered her artistry by enhancing ideas that surround her view of the world and in all its magnificent glory. Her expertise gained international recognition when she assisted American mural artist Joel Bergner in painting a mural for the Kalabara Arts Festival in 2016. And she has been contributing to art and crafts since 2014 through various festivals and events, and is now the lead official artist for celebrated arts group, thepaintsocial.com. So yeah, hi Krishna again, once
Thank you
again.
so much
Thank
for
you
that.
so much
Yeah.
for joining. Right. So let's start. Okay. So can you tell us a bit more about your journey and how you got into this field?
So my dad is an artist. He has done his master's in sculpting from MS University, Baroda. But, he's seen the struggle with art, and he never wanted me to, professionally do painting. He was like, you might as well study, complete your education, and, painting is something you can do whenever you want. So I
Mm,
did my psychology majors from Jai Hind College, and I completed my BA in that. I even went in for my master's. I got admission in Mumbai University, and I left that within, I think, 2 months, because I realized that
okay.
painting is something, I always wanted to continue doing. And I knew that
Mm,
if I would have gotten into, psychology, studying, getting a job, then it would end up like a hobby. Like, you hear so many people these days say that, I love painting, I'm good at it, but I don't get the time. So I didn't see
yeah,
myself
yeah.
5 years down the line doing psychology. So I quit that and I continued painting. I'm a self-taught artist, so I haven't really done a
Okay.
professional training from anywhere. But yeah,
Okay.
that's how the thing journey started.
Nice. So you sort of took charge of your own this thing, and you just sort of decided that
Absolutely.
I'm doing this now for sure.
Yes,
That's
like I
great
just
because,
came home
as
one
you
day.
mentioned,
Yeah, tell me.
no, no, sorry, continue, continue, please.
So I just like came home one day and I was like, Mom, I can't continue this. Like, I can't study. I don't want to do this. I don't see myself, doing this later. So mom was, I think, very supportive that way because she was like, do what you feel like doing. And that's when I just
Hmm.
like quit my masters and, I just continued painting and putting myself out there. So
Right.
yeah,
That's great. That's really nice to hear because as you mentioned, like the whole keeping art as a hobby and people then you don't tend to give it enough time, the time that it needs, and then it just like loses its track. So it's good that you sort of decided, okay, I want to do this and I will give my full time and energy to it, which is
to that,
amazing.
yeah.
And it's so I was so glad because then your art wouldn't have been in this world otherwise. So so that's great.
Absolutely.
Right. So, but you mentioned being a self-taught artist, but again, like each person is different, and maybe someone has an opportunity to, like, get formal training. But how important do you think it is? Like, if you had the chance, would you have done formal training?
I think I do regret sometimes that I should have taken a formal training because see, I'm sure art is very different when it comes to even in this country. Like being an artist in India and being an artist elsewhere in the world is also very different. Mostly
Hmm.
because here people don't look at art and all these hobbies that we have. Like it's coming up now, which is great. But otherwise, if you don't take up formal training, like whom do you go to if you have any, technical questions? Like that is one challenge I really faced at the start was, okay, what now? Like I'm painting, I'm an artist. So what do I do? Whom can I ask questions? Like be it very simple things like how do I price my painting? Or which are the galleries I can approach? Or, the whole thing of
Right.
writing an artist statement, an invoice, all of these things. I think for these things, a formal training does really help because it teaches you all of that. So yeah, I mean,
Right.
I'm not saying that I have lacked in opportunities because I don't have a formal training. That way, I think I've really put myself out there, and obviously, luck also plays a part. That's what I believe. But yeah, I think it is equally important to get a formal
Yeah.
training. It's
That's
good. Yeah.
That, yeah, I mean, aside from just learning, like you may be very talented and all of that is true and which is great. But as you mentioned, sometimes the guidance or mentorship is really important. So even if
Exactly.
you don't have formal training, if you have a mentor, I think that's like perfect, because you have someone to just look up to and, sort of figure out, okay,
Yeah, someone to
they need
give
to
you
start
direction,
somewhere.
I would say.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. But once again, I mean, formal training as such, at least even I feel is not completely important because sometimes then it might lead you astray from your originality, as an artist. Because then,
Yes.
so it's a very here and there sort of situation. But again,
Correct.
having a mentor or a guide, I feel is really important. So
Yeah.
that's something
And I
you
think
said very well.
probably, maybe we should have, at least there should be some short-term courses or something like that. And
Hmm.
moreover, you should have people whom you can approach easily. Like today, I know
Right.
if I have a question, okay, because of social media, we have all this support. There are people like you guys, what you all are doing, where we can connect with other people and find out. But otherwise, a person who is new to this field, they don't know where to go. Whom do you
Hmm.
ask any
Hmm.
question that you want to? So I think that way, yeah,
Right.
formal training, maybe not just the entire course, but maybe some short-term courses or something would really be helpful when it comes to fine arts.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. Maybe you could think of this in the future and pass on your guidance to other people.
Absolutely.
So that would be
Yeah,
really
I
great.
think.
What challenges did you face along your way of like establishing yourself in this career, other than the stuff we discussed about like pricing and all of that stuff? But in general, like even just being a woman in an industry, any industry is I mean, sadly to say, it's not that easy in whatever industry you're
Yeah.
in somehow. And so, is there something like that you faced, any challenges, or even like anything good that you experienced in your journey?
Yeah, I think challenges, yes, of course, there are many because I'm doing multiple things to, like, I mean, I'm a dancer, I'm a photographer, I'm an artist. one thing about me is, first of all, I get bored very fast. I need to do something new each time. I don't like to sit idle. That's how I've been from the start. But of course, there are people, even in your own family or in the society, who come and tell you that, okay, how long are you going to go about, doing something like that? You should get a job, you should get a fixed pay, or where do you see yourself later? And that's the thing about freelancing. You have work sometimes, you don't have work
You
sometimes.
don't.
So there were a lot of time when I was like, I had free time, or I used to be home for, a longer period, like for a week, I wouldn't have work. And mom used to come and be like, okay, what next? So I think having that patience and also being very determined and focused on what you want to do, because being a freelancer, being an artist can also make you lazy, or it can sort of divert your mind if you don't have continuous work going on. So I think that is a very big challenge, as to keeping yourself focused on what you want to do and to continue painting. Because being an artist, you must have heard it from so many people that, you need to be in the right space of mind to create a piece or something. At least with me, it is like that. Like, I need to be in that right mood and space. So to be focused on that, to keep your mind fine, to know that you have to take care of yourself so that you continue creating art, is a big challenge in itself. So
Right.
that was one of the things. A good thing was also, I think you guys have also spoken to Jay Ranjit before. I don't know how many people are there who must have seen his video, but he was, I randomly collaborated with him. Like, met him in one of the events, live painting events, where we both were there together. And he sort of helped me out with getting more projects. We made a group on WhatsApp where we all artists are a part of it, and we post about opportunities that we get, or which we might not be
Oh,
interested in, someone else might be interested in. So that is one
that's
thing which was
great.
very good. Yeah. I think that's something that can really help people out, because after that, I saw so many people approaching me and asking me that, okay, how did you get this work? Or, like asking me questions about it. And I used to add them to the group. And now we have this big WhatsApp group called Art Vengers on WhatsApp, where we are helping each other
Nice.
out with art related things. So, yeah. So that's been one good thing, where our
That's
generation
great.
understands the struggle. So they are
It's
sort
good,
of there for
like
each
the whole
other.
industry is, supporting each other and, helping each
Yes,
other grow. That's really important and that's really nice.
that's true.
So, you spoke about like, having focus and again, freelance or even like this current times that we're in, work is very, what do you say? Work is very, like, I mean, you don't know when you're
Yeah,
going to get work and when you're not. It's very unpredictable,
absolutely.
right? So, how have you been keeping your focus, keeping yourself on your toes? Are there any tips you could share with people on, how to keep your practice going and just not lose that direction?
So lockdown for me has been very different, I would say, because I know a lot of people have been very productive. I'm not saying that I did create paintings, but initially I was very lost because I have been working since I was in college. So for me, this period has been like the maximum time, like I've been not doing anything. And I was a lot
Right.
into taking painting workshops, doing events, photography, dancing. So it was all events and workshops. So my work life came completely to a halt since April. So initially I was like, okay, let me take this slow. I even tried doing some live painting workshops and stuff. It didn't work out that well. And then I was sort of very lost as to what next. We all have that question in mind, like, what next?
Yeah, yeah.
And being an artist, freelancer, my mom also was like all the time, like, I think you should get a job. I think you should get a job. But I think I sort of took this time as to slow down, maybe, to know that it's okay sometimes to not have work. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people have financial problems as well. But I think in a way, I decided that, okay, let me use this time to figure, if this doesn't work for me, what am I planning to do next? And I watch a lot of Netflix. I'm sure a lot of people do that. So
In the same boat. Yep.
my recent art series was inspired by Netflix. where I did a lot of
Yes.
paintings, of BoJack Horseman, of Money Heist. I just went into
Nice.
that flow as to whatever I'm watching, I would create something related to that. So
Nice.
that was
Yeah.
good. But I think people should stop being so hard on themselves. Like,
Hmm.
I know it's very difficult. I personally think it's very competitive now as to what it was before. Because a lot of people come and tell me, why don't you take online workshops? And, people come and tell you, give you so many options and advice, but it's on you, I mean, what makes you feel good. If you think you need to take a break, you should take a break. If you think you should do something else to, for the time being, you should do that. But I would say that you should listen to yourself. I didn't rush
Yeah.
into anything because I thought it's better I wait it out and, then figure what comes next than to just get into something which I'm not really happy about or which is just going to, occupy my time.
True.
So
True.
I did painting, I watched a lot of series, I did my workouts, I started learning a new musical instrument.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so yeah,
That's
I
good.
try to keep myself occupied, but I
That's
think it's
great.
okay
That's
to
great.
slow down. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my
That's
tip
true.
to people. Yeah, just slow down in life.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice one. Okay, now coming back to the projects that you worked on. So you've been a part of so many festivals in the world. I mean, I'm sorry, in the country, and like since so many years. And like when I saw the list myself, I was just shocked because it's like so many, and like it's really great that you did, and I'm like that's really cool of you to sort of be a part of all of this. And you assisted Joel Bergner, right, in
Yeah.
2016 at Kalagur. So, what was that experience like? And if you have any more experience from any of your other festivals, then please let us know as well.
So I started live painting with Kish Mandi, Bandra project. I got it through a friend, and that's how I started doing live painting for flea markets. I was I was pretty antisocial back then. I was an introvert. Being an artist, I was always into my own space. But I realized then obviously if I want my art to reach others, for me to meet new people, I have to get out there. And that's when I started doing live painting for flea markets. In fact, initially it doesn't really pay you anything, but it's all about obviously the exposure and, painting in front of people who are just like passing by and they come and ask you questions. They want to know about what you're doing. So that was really fun. And it started with Kish Mandi, then I did Nariyal Pani, I did Lil Flea, and yeah, quite a lot of projects like this. The one I did with Joel Bergner was obviously an amazing experience that came through in my life because again, I got it through somebody. He was looking for someone to just assist him in Bombay, because so he's an artist who does community projects all over the world. And
Oh,
his projects are always, around social causes. So the one he was doing in Bombay was on women empowerment, and he was doing this with the girls from Sophia College. So it was a community-based project, and it was something very new for me because I hadn't ever done a community project like that. So we were working at Sitara Studio, wherein first day we had a whole workshop where all these girls from Sophia were involved, and we all were sitting down and brainstorming as to what it is like to be a girl, all the good things about it, all the bad things about it. And it was a very fun interactive session because I got to see how, people from outside of India work. Like somebody like him
hmm.
who's working with, people all over the world. Like he's done it in every country, you just name it, and he's done it with kids in Africa. He's done it with kids in, the Rohingya kids and everything. Like he's worked with all of them. So getting involved with all these girls from Sophia, and there was me who was assisting him. His wife was also there, and we noted down all these pointers about women empowerment and how each of us feels and how do we bring that out on canvas. It was a
Yeah.
40 feet mural that we painted. It
Wow.
was
Okay.
huge. It, yeah, it went on for like 10 days. like the girls used to come, they used to be with us till like say afternoon. After that, it was just me, Joel, and his wife, CJ. Three of us used to sit in the studio till 10, 11, and we're
Oh.
drinking beer, we have music, and we are painting this giant 40 feet mural. So that was
Wow.
amazing. It was life changing. Yeah, to be a part of something like that because you get to see
That sounds
how
like
he's
amazing.
working. Yeah, he was,
That's
and
so good.
I mean, he's a senior artist. I was a little new. I also took him around the city. So it was like a nice culture exchange, and so
Yeah.
that was a
I'm
very
sure
nice
you learned a
experience.
lot from him as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he works with spray paints, and also acrylic. I work with acrylic mostly. But yeah, I got to learn a lot from him, even when it comes to spray painting and stuff. So it was nice. I even taught his she loves Bollywood music. So I even taught her a
Okay.
Bollywood dance and stuff. So
Oh,
it
wow,
was
nice.
quite an enriching experience. Yeah.
That's a great experience to have. So with so what exactly, if you could just explain to our audience what exactly live painting is and what is it that you do when you're doing live painting?
So live painting is usually when you're painting in front of people, like you've not pre-sketched anything. Some people do decide beforehand as to what they want to paint, but the whole thing is that people get to watch your process, the whole process of you creating something on a canvas. So it's usually me standing, like my easel is there. I have a big canvas and I'm painting something in front of them. So people who are, part of the festival or something, they can come, they can watch. And I even do live paintings for weddings. I've just done two
Oh,
so far, but the first one was quite a hit, and the second one was like I was even better at it, I think. So that was like, the fairas are going on during the wedding, and it's me standing with the canvas, and I have painted the entire scene on the canvas of the Dulha Dulhan, like
wow.
taking the fairas and the crowd, and so everything that I'm seeing live, I have got it on canvas. And of course, you
That
don't have
sounds
much
very
time.
cool.
Yeah, because it's live, like you cannot, I mean, you have to finish it in front of the audience. So
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
really get that much time to, do touch-ups or detailing and sketching. So it used to
right.
be like a little abstract, realistic piece.
So now
But
how long
yes.
did it take you to do the wedding live painting?
So one thing about me is I'm very fast at painting. I think
Okay.
I don't really take that long to paint. So the wedding one I did was in, I think, approx 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, nice.
Like the whole
That's
scene, yeah.
nice.
So I
Wow.
usually don't take a break when I start painting. I just like, I'll keep going till the
Start to
time it's not
finish.
over. Yeah.
Great,
So
great.
that's about it.
But it's a really cool concept. I think it's really nice because now that couple will have their whole memory to cherish, and
Yeah.
like the live painting idea in itself is really cool. So
Yeah, and I
it's
think in
quite new,
India,
and I mean I
it's
haven't heard of it. So
yeah, in India, I think it's not very common. I mean, there are a lot of acts people like in their weddings these days, but live painting is not something which was really out here yet. So people are
right.
still getting the hang of it.
Yeah, that sounds very cool. I mean, like my mom's an artist as well, and
Oh wow.
she paints on wedding cars, like the Bharat car that comes. So that's something that was fairly new a few years ago
Oh
when she
wow.
started. Yeah, and then but this is something entirely different. Like this is something I hadn't heard of before, because that's again pre-planned, and one
Correct.
day, 2 days is taken to paint it. But this live painting
Right.
thing sounds very interesting because there's no preparation. Because you cannot even pre-plan it, and now you don't know what they're gonna
Yeah,
wear.
like,
You don't know how they're gonna stand, or anything. The decoration, like
absolutely.
so, it's very tricky, and it's really nice. I really like this
It is. In
idea.
fact, the first time
This,
when I did it, like the first wedding that I did it for, I was a little scared because I was like, this is my only chance, I can't screw it up and then go home and
yeah,
make another
you don't
painting.
get more takes, like just one take and you have to finish it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's
That was very
did you
scary because
practice
I'm
this
like, what if they don't like
before?
it? No, I didn't.
You didn't do
I'm
any
very,
like
no,
oh my
I
God.
didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I took
That's
quite a
great.
risk with that one, but yeah, I did inform them that it's not going to be very realistic because, there's one thing in India, people sometimes really, when you tell them that, you're painting someone, like a portrait or someone's face,
Oh,
they want it to
yeah.
look like a color Xerox.
Ex Photo.
They don't understand the whole concept of abstract art yet, many of them. So
Yeah,
I have to
yeah.
really make sure that, guys, this is how it's going to be. I sometimes send them references from Google and I'm like, this is what I'm capable of. So don't expect like, a Xerox coming out or something. That's not going to happen. So yeah. So
That's
that,
good.
yeah.
That like just yeah, let them know beforehand. So any sort of collaborations, have you done any those in your in the past that really stood out to you or helped shape your thinking differently? Anything of that sort?
I think, I mean, I told you about it that I am a part of two NGOs. I think that experience for me has been very life-changing because, I mean, I've not collaborated with any artist as of now. I was planning, I have done body art for this band called Kabir Cafe, where they were
Oh,
performing live, and I did I created some designs of their songs, and I painted them on people, like on their hands or, wherever they want, like a
oh,
body art thing. And I also did
nice.
face painting for Halloween in this club, Hoppy Pola.
Oh,
That
okay.
was different. That was also fun because it was like, painting people's faces and stuff. That was nice. But I think working with these two NGOs has been something which has really changed me a lot, even as a person and even as an artist. Because, so one of the NGOs that I work for is Learning Links Foundation. They they have these educational programs in municipality schools, government schools, and villages, which is backed by corporates. But they work with these, poor children and, people who can't really afford their basic necessities. So I have been taking art sessions for them in their summer vacations and stuff, where I was taking like,
Right.
a simple art workshop on cubism or, anything new which is for them because
Yeah.
they don't have art as a part of their curriculum or, like a period, like every weekly period or something. They don't have it. So working with them really sort of hit me like, that we need to reach out to these people more because so many of
Yeah.
them are good in art, but they don't have the materials. They don't have it in the schools only. So where does the
Yeah. Yeah.
question come, And
That's true.
like since I've been painting since I was little, and I know how difficult it is because I mean, at least I can afford to go for a drawing class, a painting class. And when you're small, I mean, when you're little or when you're in school, college, you continue a hobby, and that's when you realize that you want to pursue this, as your career. So if you're not given that freedom to explore anything apart from your studies, how does
Yeah.
a
You
child
wouldn't
know?
know.
Yeah, so I think that was very life changing. Even the other NGO that I work for, Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer, where I work with cancer patients, women who were fighting with cancer and everything, and how we just had a fun interactive session of coloring and like art as very like a therapy for them.
Therapeutic
I
medium.
haven't
Yeah.
studied art therapy. That's something I would want to do, but that was also a very different experience for me.
Right. That
Because
sounds really
art is an
nice.
escape, yeah. Like even for us, like people once you want to get your mind off things and you create something, it sort of distracts you. It takes you into your own world. So
Hmm.
I think those two things are quite life changing for me.
Yeah, and also I think as a creative person, it's everyone's responsibility to also give back to society with whatever you can contribute with, because at least like we at Creative totally believe that creativity has the power to sort of really change people's lives, no
Same.
matter what creative field it is. It could be anything, and the fact that you started giving back to society is really nice, and I think everybody should, start doing that if they don't already. And it really opens up your eyes to a lot of other things as well, a lot of issues. And also I think it also makes you happy inside, because you can see the impact it's having on people, and that also gives you that satisfaction that, okay,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
doing
this
something good.
lockdown also has been in a way, like people have understood how, how creativity helps. Because I have so many of my friends who have been randomly sending me their sketches, their paintings, and, telling me that, okay, hey, I tried my hands on this. I wanted to show it to you and stuff. So it's so nice to see everybody realizing how important all these things are,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just as a career or whatever it is, but just doing something new or indulging yourself into something is quite therapeutic or whatever. But it's
True,
nice to
very
see
true.
people doing this now in this lockdown.
Yeah, yeah, they finally got the time
Yeah, they finally got the
now.
time. That's true.
Right. So now with you've got like a wide array of so many like sort of mediums you use and the kind of work you're doing. So is there anything like, do you have a favorite kind that you love doing more than others? Like anything that you would keep going back to, or something like that?
I think creating my own paintings. Like, I've been so much, like all these, especially these last 2 years, I've been taking painting workshops all over the country. I've been very busy with taking workshops, like with painsocial.com, because I've been handling the
Yeah.
entire Bombay scene for them. So, be it baby
Oh,
showers, birthday parties, weddings, pubs, cafes, all
wow.
these,
It's
like
a
I've been
lot.
fully into teaching since 2 years, the NGOs, the workshops. But I think when I am completely free, I have no other things to do, like no events coming up, nothing. What I love the most is me sitting in my room and, creating something that I like. Because, sometimes that what you create obviously doesn't get like, it doesn't get sold off very easily, obviously, depending on the audience that you find. But the joy that
True.
you get when there is no restriction, there is nobody telling you this is what I want, and you're just creating something for yourself. I think that's my most favorite thing to do, and that's what I would want to do later. So yeah, like this painting
Yeah,
at the back
that's
also. Yeah, like these are the kind of things I usually do. Like there was a time where I was known
wow.
as the artist who makes Buddha and Shiva paintings. So I
Oh,
think getting
okay.
back to this is, yeah, this is everything.
That sounds great. I mean, I get what you mean. Just giving that time to yourself and just, zoning out and just painting is really
Yeah,
nice and
that's about
ideal.
it.
That sounds great. So, I mean, another sort of, are you sort of experimenting with something more different now in the future? Like now, live paintings is something you've done, and is there anything more that you're experimenting with?
So, I've been wanting to create some paintings out of photographs because I'm a photographer. This has been on my mind since a long time where and I also travel a lot. So I have this amazing collection of photographs that I've taken from all my trips and everything. And I've been planning to do something where I'm creating like a mix of a photograph and a painting. So it's like you take
Oh,
a snap and you sort of may probably distort how half of it with paint, or you add some colors to it. So the person viewing it will not know whether it's a photograph, it's a painting, it's like a mixed media work.
right.
So that
That
has
sounds
been on
very
my mind.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should definitely do this. I mean, yeah, like don't like just we want to see this. I'm sure everybody in the audience is going to be very excited
Yeah,
for this.
that, and I have not done a
Uh,
solo exhibition yet.
oh,
I've done group shows, but because I've been so busy doing other things and projects and stuff, I've not got the time to do a solo. I was planning to do it this year, but things don't go the way you always want them to. So
yeah,
just hoping this pandemic gets over and I get to do that very soon.
yeah, that too definitely, very soon with your like amazing expertise and the amount of work you've been doing, it's gonna not be very uh like long before we see your solo exhibit. And one thing actually, something like you spoke about, like this whole lockdown, and you were getting experience from watching Netflix, sorry, inspiration from watching Netflix and BoJack Horseman, Rick and Morty, or whatever other shows that
Yeah.
you've been watching. So where else do you draw your inspiration from? Does it just sort of come to you in a dream? As a lot of artists be like, oh, I dreamt of this, and then I just painted it. Is that something like that, or is it more through observation and all of that?
So I started painting with realistic works. Okay, realistic was mostly obviously when you see some object outside, or painting portraits and stuff. I started with that, so I was very good with realistic, but I had the patience back then. Then when I got into college, I started doing multiple things. That's when my style, I think, started changing. Because the more you keep
Excuse me,
painting,
I just want to cut you
hmm,
off for a sec. Your video is completely blurred. Are you on your Wi-Fi or data or something?
no,
Because
I'm
we
on
can't see you
Wi-Fi.
clearly, and your voice is
One second.
distorted as well. Yeah. Sorry guys, just a sec. I think there's a small internet issue from Krishna's end, and we'll just sort that out in a sec. She should be back. Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, that's
We can
better.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Way better.
I think it's the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, can you just start from the beginning? We don't want anyone to miss out on
Yeah,
anything. So,
so I was saying that I started painting with realistic paintings, realism, where you mostly paint portraits, or you're painting objects that you see in front of you. So I started with that, and then I think slowly, slowly, when as you keep painting more and more, like you try your hands on everything, you realize you come to know what your style really is. So my
hmm,
inspiration, I think it's nothing in particular. It's not definitely not my dreams, but I'm also very spiritual, I would say, because my father,
right.
like we have a shop of murtis as well, of marble idols and of
Okay.
different gods and stuff. And I was a lot into philosophy, like my subjects in college, and getting to know about spirituality, different religions, philosophy, and all. So I think I got into a lot of spiritual side of paintings. That's when I started doing the Buddha series, and I did a lot of Shiva
Right.
paintings, Buddha paintings, mixing two concepts. So yeah, I think it depends on my mood. Like I said, now during the lockdown, I was very inspired by Netflix. And I also realized that people love keeping those kind of things at home. They like gifting it to their friends. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
nobody has the money right now to really buy paintings. And, it's getting difficult. So I said, let me have a little fun, let me change the subject, see what the crowd also likes. Because sometimes you also have to think about
Hmm.
what people want to buy. And being a young artist,
Yeah.
I want to target the young as well. Because people
Hmm.
like us, like people of our age, are probably not going to buy a painting worth, say, 50,000 or whatever. And my goal is that
Yeah.
I want
Right.
my painting to reach every single household. Like, everyone should be able to afford my painting. So I have paintings which are huge, which might be expensive or whatever. But then I'm like, I want to
Yeah.
create something which is, nice and quirky and fun, which, people of our generation would like to gift others. So using painting as the idea of a gift, like that's when I think I got pushed to make more of Netflix paintings. I made, I think, 4 pieces of BoJack, because I made one and everyone absolutely loved it. I sold it immediately. Then I made one more and another one and another one. I even sent one to California to someone through Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah, like I,
Okay.
found a buyer on Instagram, and I shifted to Los Angeles and stuff. So I think my inspiration comes from my mood and my
Hmm.
whole thing of spirituality, because a lot of my paintings are of the Buddha and the Shiva. So that's that.
Right. That's really nice. It's a really nice, like sort of evolution also, and it's good that you're also being very, not just like stuck to one thing, and you also like sort of expanding and experimenting, and that's really cool because even pop culture is something that's really popular in our generation, and
Correct.
it really sort of sells, so that's really nice. And I've seen
Yeah,
your
like
paintings; they look so good.
thank you. So yeah, that's what like a lot of people are into digital art these days, and the whole pop culture
Yeah,
thing, making postcards, posters. I tried my hands on that also once, of getting posters and stuff like that. But then I was like, I don't want one design of mine to be sold like 10 times. I like that my
right.
paintings are limited edition and I never replicate the same thing again. There's always something
Yeah,
different in the next piece, even if it is the same character, but there'll be something different in it. So that's why I
right.
said,
So
okay, if
each piece
people
is
are,
unique.
yeah, and people come and ask you, that you don't you have posters because we can't really afford paintings, like, so
Hmm.
that's when I decided, let me create some small, affordable versions of those. So, more people can
Right.
buy.
That's nice. That's a good thought. And yeah, I'm sure like they're gonna sell out like hotcakes when you start like making more of these Netflix paintings as well. So now you spoke about like working with NGOs, and even your Joel Bergner assist that you did was about women empowerment, and you're also a vegetarian by choice. So you've got all these really strong and great beliefs, but I just want the people to know more about them because I just feel like people should like understand about these things a bit more. And yeah, so just coming from a creative person, I feel if you could just share a bit about this, like mainly the vegetarianism bit, since we spoke about the NGO. So
So, I mean, we are vegetarians, I mean, at home, but my cousins, my family was never against anybody eating non-veg outside, We had the freedom to choose. And all my cousins used to eat non-veg. A lot of people, even my parents, used to have non-veg before. But I think right from the start, I have been very close to nature and animals. And
right,
I never found the need that I need to eat an animal to, for whatever needs. Like, I know a lot of my friends are against this thought of mine. A lot of people don't agree to it, and I'm okay with that. But that is something which is I've never felt the need, Even like when people come and tell
yeah,
me that you're missing out on something in life, you need to eat chicken or whatever it is. But I'm like, I'm happy with my veg food. I'm getting whatever nutrients I need. In fact, I'm so glad that veganism is something that I'm yet to do because I'm a little
hmm.
hooked up on paneer a lot, being a vegetarian. But I want to try that out because a lot of my friends are vegans. Even the gym that I used to go to, my trainer himself was vegan and he's got a great body. So I don't find the need as to why do we need to eat animals. We have been seeing so much around the world, be it when it comes to climate change, when it comes to how
Yeah,
animals are tortured and the slaughterhouses, how they are. So right from the beginning, that's one thing I think I have never eaten meat. It is not something that I would ever do, I think, because I love animals. And I cannot discriminate also amongst animals, because there are people who love dogs. They don't mind eating
yeah,
chicken. Like, no offense, but for me, it's like all animals are the same. And the whole
I
concept of
completely agree.
eating on life, eating something live, you're killing something, you're cutting it. That whole concept is very weird for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Same.
So,
Exactly the same. Like I would have answered this exactly like this if I was
yeah,
asked the
even
same
you're a
thing.
vegetarian by choice.
Yeah. I know. I mean, my whole family is pure veg. No one's touched non-veg. But I mean, if I wanted to, I could have
Hmm.
gone and had
Correct.
non-veg outside, and
Correct.
they wouldn't know, or it wouldn't have
Yeah.
been a big thing. But it just never felt like it, and it's just never been something that's appealing to me at all. Because again, I also love animals, and that's just something that just never registered in my head as something
Yeah.
that I
Like
should
it's a very
you
simple
know
thought, I think, that, I
yeah,
don't need that to live. I don't need to kill an animal to, just to eat it. Like the whole
yeah,
thing is, if you think
agreed.
of it, it's so weird, right? You're just eating an animal,
Yeah,
you're killing something and you're eating it. So
it's
I was like, this is something
yeah,
which, my friends can try as hard as they want, but it's never going to change. Like,
completely. Yeah,
so
true,
yeah.
very true. So, okay, so let's get on to more lighter topics of conversation. So I have a quick rapid fire round that I've
Okay.
prepared for you. It's very short, it's going to be quick questions, and you just have to sort of uh, answer them quickly. So, first one is, do you prefer painting at home or painting murals or live painting outside?
Painting at home.
Okay. This is something I ask everybody because I love this question. What
Okay.
is your most useless talent?
Useless talent. Oh my God. This is something I think to need. I need to think, I think. Useless
No, this is
talent.
a rapid fire. You have to be quick.
Oh my God. I can't think of anything.
Just
I think,
something that you're really good at, but it's a completely unnecessary.
I think, chopping vegetables.
Okay, cool. Okay, I wouldn't say that's useless, but that works, I guess. Okay. Uh, if you could describe yourself in 4 words.
Passionate, hardworking, moody, and hyper.
Okay, cool. I love that. Okay. Okay, so if you could be a part of any art festival in the world, which one would it be and why?
In the world. I think there's an arts festival that happens in Edinburgh. That is something I would, yeah, because I visited that 2 years back. I mean, not the festival. I visited the place and I got to know. So I would love to be a part of that.
Okay, great. Okay, and the last question, 4 things you absolutely cannot work without.
Work without music, um, space. I think I need like space mentally also and physically also.
Physics.
Um, yeah, music. I think my iPod, yeah, of course. And my shoes. My shoes
Okay.
are very important to me. Yeah, it's funny, but yeah, my shoes are very important. And my diary.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so that's the end of the rapid fire round. Okay, so the next segment is the TKT collaborator filter. So this filter is something that you put up a story with today morning. And so our idea behind this filter was to encourage people, especially in these times, to sort of step out of your comfort zone. And if you're getting stuck with ideas, you can use our filter, get some, it will lead
Correct.
you to, okay, I can maybe collaborate with this category or that. Because we want to promote as much cross collaboration as possible. And we thought something like Instagram, like a filter that's fun, would really help. And we have 50 plus categories on it. So there's like a lot of options for people to just sort of go nuts and, think outside the box, think more creatively, and just get a little push towards, collaborating with people. So you got filmmaker as your result.
Yes.
So I want to ask you first is what do you think is the importance of collaboration as a creative person, and what ideas do you have to on collaborating with a filmmaker?
So yeah, firstly, this filter is very cool, I think, because I mean, I haven't seen a filter like that on Instagram before, which is actually helping and not just changing your
Thank you.
face or making you look more pretty.
Yeah,
But
true, true.
so collaborate, yeah, I think collaborating with someone from another field is something which is very fun, very I think it's also like you never know what you might discover about yourself, when you collaborate with someone from another field. Like you might try your hands onto something new and you might realize you're great at it. So that is, of course, one thing which I think is very good when you collaborate with someone else. And secondly, obviously, you get to exchange ideas. You get to, be into someone else's head because when you're collaborating, you both need to agree on something. It's not just you and your ideas. So working with someone, it teaches you how to, work with somebody else. So that, and yeah, I got filmmaker. So I think it would be very cool if I could, help paint someone's movie poster or something. Or like, if someone's doing a
Yeah.
short film, probably, I could help them design the cover of their poster or if they don't mind hiring me and putting me up in the short film, doing a live painting scene or something. That would be damn cool. But
Yeah, that would be
yeah,
really cool.
I think this is a very great way. I'm very glad that, I tried this filter and I could even give this a thought because it's not something
Yeah,
that's really crossed my
definitely.
mind.
That
So,
sounds also
yeah.
really interesting. And if any filmmakers in the audience, if you want to get in touch with Krishna
Yeah.
for this, then please do. That also be very cool. Yeah, this would actually is something that I would definitely watch and want to watch if this sort of idea is there. And obviously, if you get to create a poster for someone's film, that's also amazing. Like it's really nice to put your art out there, and especially as short
Yeah.
films and filmmakers are so creative in their work. So
Correct.
when you get to be a part of their film also is really nice.
Yeah, like I've seen people doing
So
digital art and all. I don't know if anyone's ever actually used a painting as a poster, so I think it'll be fun.
yeah, that'd be very nice. Okay, cool. So we have a few questions from people. They've sent them in through the uh this thing. Wait. So any suggestions on how to introduce people to such creative arts at a younger age? And there's another
Um,
question.
that's okay. This is a very
Especially in
nice
a
question.
country like India, these creative fields are not considered as anything, right? Okay.
That's true. I would say that, of course, there are the privileged people who give importance to arts and who put their child for a lot of classes. But I would say, like, it doesn't matter whether you don't have to put your child to a class for everything. Just like that's how I started. You just have to give your child paper, crayons, or whatever art materials and give the person freedom. That's the main thing.
Mm.
Don't tell your child that, okay, paint this or paint that or do it this way. Just let him explore, him or her explore. Let him or her figure out what they like to do. And that's the best way of obviously. And if your child is showing keen interest on, or you know that he or she is good at it, then I would obviously say you should put for some sort of classes, like, or just like
Mm.
a training under someone. Now we have YouTube tutorials and stuff, which is like, it's so easy to
Yeah.
find all of those things. But yeah, I think freedom and time, like, let the child, explore. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
that's a
my
good
answer.
thought. Yeah, because a lot of times you're always told, okay, now color inside the square or color inside the circle, and then it sort of restricts the child itself to just be like,
Yeah,
okay,
like
no, I have to
this is
color
something
inside.
even I learned, I think, because when I was teaching these kids in the school, and even it used to come out from my mouth also sometimes, like, saying, okay, don't do this, do it this way. And then I used to realize, like, okay, this is what had happened to me when I was small. So I need to not let
Yeah.
this happen again. So yeah,
Hmm.
because it's freedom of expression. Yeah, that's art, right? So I
Exactly.
think
Yeah. Very
kids should
true.
be free to do what they want.
Okay, so someone's also asked, what all countries have you traveled to so far?
Countries, I would not say that many countries. I've been to Italy, I've been to Hong Kong, I've been to London, Scotland, Edinburgh. I've traveled a lot in India for those of you who are asking about my travels, because I have a separate travel page. It's called Bombay Banjaran, recently started,
Ooh.
just for my photographs because I travel a lot. I have almost seen like the whole of India. And abroad, yeah, I've done Europe and I've done uh, Hong Kong and Italy and all of that. So lots to see outside of India yet, but India itself is beautiful. It's got so many different sides to it and different places to go. So yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
you should,
agree, agree.
people who want to know should hop onto that Insta page of mine and, see my pictures and my
Yes, guys,
stories.
please go follow her page as well. Also, so do you travel solo or in a group?
I've never traveled solo, funnily. I want to travel solo. A lot
Oh,
of people think I have traveled solo looking at my pictures, but there's always been someone. I'm blessed with a beautiful family and a cousins who love to travel equally as much as I do. So we have
okay,
this whole
nice.
gang of us, in the family, we cousins. We have like made it a point that every year we are traveling to at least two new destinations. So
Oh,
yeah. I think
That's great.
traveling together is fun. It's not necessary you have to travel solo. Don't like it's obviously nice. I would obviously want to try that sometime, but I think traveling is something it should just be fun anyway, you know, with
Yeah, it would
someone,
be,
without
there's no hard
someone.
and fast rule to travel. It would be
Yeah.
as per whoever likes
Because people
travel.
nowadays, I think they think, okay, traveling solo is the in thing, it's the cool thing. But being a person who,
Yeah,
like, I have traveled all over India and I've always traveled with people, and I think it's fun. It's amazing for me to always travel with them. So,
that's nice.
yeah.
That's very nice. So, guys, any questions, any more questions for Krishna, then please start asking them. We still have some time to answer your questions. We have 3 minutes exactly left, so we can answer your questions as well.
And big,
So,
big thank you to everyone, I think, who showed up. I can see a lot of my
yeah,
friends,
you've got
my
so much
family.
support in the comments. Everyone's so active. It's really nice to see.
You know,
So,
okay, one thing I
thanks
want
so
to share
much.
with you and with others is that this is my first live. So,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
you've been really good. Yeah, this is very nice.
I have come live. I mean, when I'm painting or something, but it's usually just the painting. But me speaking, this is the first time. So,
We're
yeah,
so
it's
glad
been
you
great.
decided to join with us. And your first time was with us, so that's really
Yeah,
nice.
thank you so
Uh,
much.
okay, so questions,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
about it.
okay, and also,
Usual.
I
Thank you.
guess if, let me think of a question as well. I mean, like, I've, I can't think of any more questions.
That's okay. I mean, I know that you also had a very bad throat today, but yeah, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm feeling much
And
better now, so that's great.
that's
I've been
good,
able
yeah.
to talk through the whole
That's what
life,
I'm
so
saying. This
I'm
whole
glad.
lockdown, like everybody needs to know that being mentally and physically fit is way more important than what you do in your life.
True.
That's one thing I
Yeah.
would say. And yeah, I think I would like to conclude by saying that you should follow your heart. When you follow your heart and your passion, money follows on its own. And for
Yeah.
me in my career, social media has been a very big boon, I would say, because all the big projects that I've done have always been through Instagram and Facebook. Like people come and
Wow.
keep
Okay.
asking me, "Okay, Krishna, how do you get this work?" I know that it's difficult, but I think I you have to be out there constantly. Like I have to keep posting, I have to be active. You have to share something about your personal life and all of that. So people know that you're there because it's so difficult.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
easy nowadays to find others who do the same thing. So I think, yeah, everyone should
Mm.
just keep yourselves out there and yeah, focus on being fit
That's great.
also.
Yeah. True. True. Okay. So there's a question by someone saying, if you weren't an artist, what would you be?
So, I mean, like I said that I'm a dancer and a photographer also. So, if not an artist, I would definitely be a dancer. Like I still am a dancer. I choreograph sangeets and stuff. I used to teach dancing before
Oh.
5 years. I've taught dancing,
Wow.
but
Wow.
yeah, I think dancing is something I'm really passionate. I would surely be a dancer.
That sounds great. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good question. Okay, so we are at the end of our time. So I just want to conclude by thanking you once again, Krishna. This has been such a great live session, and it's been a really nice conversation. And your ideas and thoughts, and even like everything you spoke about has been really great. And I hope that the audience also is inspired by everything you spoke. And yeah, and it's just
And
been really
thanks to
nice to
you
have you.
guys for having me. I'm so glad that my first live was with you because this was really fun. It was so raw. That's the most important part. I think it was quite
Yeah,
raw
yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, so
We really wanted that. We want it to be a conversation with creatives, and that's something
yeah,
we
you
really
guys are
like to
doing
focus
great.
on.
I've also seen the previous videos and interviews that you all have had with others. So I think it's great, because people who are into this field can also get a lot to learn, can get inspired and even
Yeah,
get to know people. So thank you so much for
yeah,
having me.
yeah.
And thanks to
Thank
everyone
you
else
so
who
much
have
for joining
supported
us.
me.
Yep,
Thank you.
yep. And also, yeah, so okay, 20 seconds left. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming. And next week, we have a third woman of wonder, Namrata Parulekar. She's a makeup artist. So please do tune in for that. And if you like what we're doing, do follow us and sign up on our website as well. And please go check